Well, here we are once again. With the new year, it's time for Outright Games' yearly Paw Patrol console game entry. I wasn't surprised when this new Paw Patrol game in particular was announced, but what did surprise me was the focus of the game. I knew Outright was going to release a game this year. I was 99% sure that the game was going to be a tie-in to the Mighty movie, much like what Adventure City Calls was the first movie, mostly because of Mighty Pups just being way past over its expiration and won't let the concept die. But to my surprise, they didn't do that. So what did Outright Games cook up? Well, as you can tell by the video title, we are getting a Paw Patrol open world console game titled Paw Patrol World that was announced yesterday. Today I'm going to give you a rundown of what we know so far about the game and see what kind of potential this could have, because this might be the most immersive Paw Patrol gaming experience up to this point. So Paw Patrol World, as I mentioned earlier, is an open world game set to release on September 29th, 2023. If that date sounds familiar to you, that's because the Mighty movie is going to release on the exact same day.
Coincidence? I think not!
You know, it would be even funnier if this was a Mighty movie tie-in game after all. That would be even more coincidental. Anyway, you are tasked with saving the Paw Patrol Day Festival, which features Halloween and Easter festivals for some reason, from the clutches of Pringles Man, aka Humdinger. The game will allow you to play as the OG6 pups along with Everest and Tracker, and will include voices for all the characters, another carryover from Paw Patrol Grand Prix. I'm glad this is back as it adds more to the immersion of the game. In addition, you can control the pups on foot as well in their respective vehicles, and use their abilities on both ends. For example, you can use Chase's winch, Rubble's crane, Rocky's forklift, driving in the bay on Zuma's hovercraft, snowboarding with Everest, and even Sky with her wings. I'm guessing we're able to fly around the entire location, which would be awesome if it were to happen. There will be four main locations that you can explore: Adventure Bay, Jake's Mountain, the Jungle, and Barkingburg. Ironically, these were the only main locations for the tracks in Paw Patrol Grand Prix, the most recent entry. Each location will allow you to explore and earn various amounts of collectibles, including hats, postcard stamps, emotes, vehicle stickers, and even collecting artwork for the Chickaletta exhibition, which you can unlock by using the pup treats you gather over the course of the game for all these collectibles. There are also these badges that show the pup's pup tags, but I'm not sure if these are just some of the collectibles you can earn or if they have some other use. This game will include two-player co-op as well as a playground mode, which will allow you to explore the open world without requiring you to follow a mission. So it's going to be up to you on what you want to do first. Get on with the main story or explore the vast locations the game has to offer. Though it's unconfirmed if you're able to explore all the locations right from the get-go, or if you have to unlock the locations like Jake's Mountain, for example, as you progress in the story, similar to the GTA games. The Paw Patroller and Sea Patroller are both present in the game, and I'm guessing both will transport you to the other locations. And lastly, the game will feature nighttime in addition to daytime. It seems like there will be day to nighttime transitions, which would be really cool to see. With that all said, let me give you my positive and negatives about what we've seen so far with the game, starting with the negatives. The first I have is the plot/story. It's pretty simple and basic, with Humdinger being the villain, and you have to stop him from ruining Paw Patrol Day. Not the most interesting story around, but it's a Paw Patrol game. I don't expect him to go out pulling all the shots with the story. I think the gameplay is what matters the most. Afterwards, we have the playable character roster, which again consists of the OG6 pups, Everest and Tracker. Why is this a negative? Well, considering the last game, Paw Patrol Grand Prix expanded the character roster with Rex and Ryder being added, now with World it downscales the roster back down to just 8 characters. For a game this caliber, you'd think that they would try to improve upon the roster and implement as many playable characters as possible, specifically with the sub-series ones like the Twins, Rex, Wildcat, Liberty, etc. This goes further with the amount of locations, with there being 4: Adventure Bay, Jake's Mountain, the Jungle, and Barkingburg. Though it's the same locations we are already familiar with, being in Paw Patrol Grand Prix, I was hoping for something new, at least one new location, like Foggy Bottom, Dino Wilds, or Adventure City. Either one of those could work, but the good thing about this is the main core element of this game makes up for the amount of locations lacking. Switching over to the positives, let's begin with the open world exploration element. This is the best upgrade direction that Outright Games could have taken for the console games. Each of the first 3 games were mostly mission-based that improved off each other with new innovations and features. Adventure City Calls was the weakest link of these 3, as it barely introduced anything new from its predecessor, Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay. And while Grand Prix did provide a nice change of pace from the mission-based ones, they couldn't do racing games forever. They had to go back to the mission-based. So what do you do here? Another mission-based game like Adventure City Calls, or go guns blazing and try the open world option? I bet most of you would have liked the latter option. I'm glad they went with it. So now the possibilities are limitless as to what you could do for this, not only for what's coming on launch, but what could come after it. Seeing how Outright Games now does DLC for most of its products, including Paw Patrol Grand Prix, the most recent game, then they could flesh out most of the negatives that I already pointed out by introducing new locations, characters, and even new themes, maybe sub-series. Take Paw Patrol Rescue World, for example, the mobile game. It was stale on content at first, but as time went on, it introduced the sub-series themes like Dino Rescue, Mighty Pups, and Motopups. Credited, most of the content was locked behind a paywall, which sucks. But besides that, if Rescue World can do it, then World can do it as well. But it seems there will be a lot to explore with this game, and the scale of each location seems to be pretty massive. Next up, we have voice acting for all the characters. Like I said earlier, I'm glad this is back, even though the voices are a bit iffy right now. Hopefully the dialogue isn't repetitive like in Grand Prix, because that got pretty annoying rather quickly. Afterwards, we have collectibles. There is much more to go around with these than when in previous games there were just badges you can collect and Grand Prix with its customization. Combining both into one game with the addition of emotes, postcard stamps, vehicle stickers, and artwork for the Chickaletta exhibition. Collecting collectibles in an open world game is rewarding when you find one, and it challenges you to collect them all, even though most of these won't affect the gameplay much after you collect them. Having this much is great for extra content after you complete all the missions or you just want to explore. And finally, there's the visuals and gameplay. Even if Outright is giving it the best they can with what they have, it looks good. Capturing the positives of each location, even including citizens walking along the streets, to make the locations more lively instead of dead. Gameplay is another step up, as now you can control the pups on foot and while in their vehicles. Though I'm interested to see how the missions will play out when the game fully comes out, which of course I will be getting, so you can possibly expect a playthrough on the channel in the future. So there's my rundown of Paw Patrol World. Honestly, that was a lot longer than I would have wanted to go, but the more the better. So let me know what you think of Paw Patrol World so far, and will you be purchasing it once it drops? As always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all again in the next video.